My name is John Passfield, and the title of this reading will be John and Mother Goose Video 11, The Little Old Lady Who Lives in a Shoe. Here is my novella, John and Mother Goose, The Carnival of Tales, a picture of John and Mother Goose together on the cover. While driving his granddaughter home from daycare, John suddenly finds himself standing in the midway of a carnival of Mother Goose fairy tales. He is greeted by Jack, of Jack and Jill fame, who tells John that Mother Goose is expecting him, as she has a role for him to play. But what does Mother Goose want? Why does she think that John is a writer of detective stories? And why, when she meets John, does she greet him almost as a long-lost son? And for that matter, why do so many of the fairy tale characters have different stories that they want John to write for them, instead of the ones in which they have lived for hundreds of years? John is not a mythical creature. He's only human after all. But can he save the Mother Goose Carnival? Can he solve the mystery of the vanishing fairy tales? Now, so why has John been brought to the Mother Goose Carnival of Tales? Well, according to Mother Goose, it's because John's the writer of detective novels, who she assumes will be able to figure out where the fairy tale characters have been disappearing to when day after day another one of the carnival stages turns up bare. But it seems that the characters have other plans for John. In this chapter, chapter 4, the little old lady who lives in a shoe tells John of the story in which she would like to perform instead of acting in her time-honored fairy tale. There was an old lady who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. So let's start with the performance. The little old lady acts her part on stage. Let me find the page number here, 21. And then we'll go on to the story she'd rather act in. So here we are. Jack and I stroll along the midway. The faded sign says there was an old lady who lived in a shoe. Two stagehands come out on stage and pull the curtains back as wide as they can go. A large shoe begins to emerge from backstage. The shoe catches on the curtains, and the stagehands tug at the curtains as the shoe is being pushed from behind. Suddenly, 10 or a dozen raggedy-dressed children pour through a door in the toe of the shoe. Some skip rope, some play hopscotch, and others kneel down and play at marbles. Though the small crowd is quiet, the children on the stage make a lot of noise. Okay, then we have to skip a few pages here to pick up on the performance. A little old lady emerges from the door in the toe of the shoe. She calls out to the children for quiet, but they ignore her and continue playing their noisy games. The little old lady throws up her hands in the air in exasperation. I watch as the little old lady tries in vain to catch the attention of her many children. The performance comes to an end, and the little old lady and the children all link hands and bow to a smattering of enthusiastic applause. The stagehands come out to remove the shoe as Jack and I stroll on. So it's Jack this time who introduces John to the little old lady. And here's the little old lady's story as they sit in the character tent after the performance. Oh, yes, I want children, John. Lots and lots of children, and the story I want you to write. But not my own this time. I want to mother every child in the whole wide world. I'm talking with a little old lady who lives in a shoe. Her eyes are as lively as they must have been when she was a girl. She is telling me of the person she longs to be. Here is what I want you to write, John. I've been told you write lots of books. I'm sure you'll agree that the plot will be perfect for me. Let me be born in a war-torn country, John. Here I am in my ballet class. Hear the bombs as they drop, John. Hear the explosions from time to time. Each time the destruction is nearer to the hall. I'm always very thin, John, never having enough to eat. Hear the other girls jeering at me, John? Make them cruel, nasty, unkind. They think my legs are too thin to carry me through the grind of ballet, that they'll snap right off whenever I make a leap. But I have something going for me, John, something none of the other girls have. My toes have a wider span than the average child of my age, even a child, unlike me, who is getting enough to eat. Have you ever heard of Nijinsky, John? Did you ever practice ballet? His toes are splayed so wide that he can make gigantic leaps. But I must never look like a freak, John. When you describe me, keep this in mind. Always make me look as fragile as a swan. But I shall leap to balletic heights, John, higher than any other girl. Only Nijinsky is known to leap higher, though he is a boy. I become a major star, John, as the bombs rain down from above. Opening nights, standing ovations, lush bouquets. But the bombs are always present, John. The bombs rain down as I practice my pliés. That's scene 1 of the lady's story. Let's go to scene 2, as the old lady who lives in a shoe sits in the character tent and tells her story to John. Now here's my second scene, John. This is what you can make me be. It's the little old lady who lives in a shoe. She's telling me of the person she wishes to be. It's shortly after the war, of course. I'm a movie star in the pictures, John. I play light, romantic roles. The prince always marries me in the end. The ballet stage is my launching pad, John. Hollywood comes and whisks me away. I star in a series of films that are highly acclaimed. In one, I play a ballet girl during a war. I sign autographs. I have fan clubs. My face is on marquees all over the world. All the material comforts are left overnight at my door. But I'm a person of great sadness, John. A lady of sorrows galore. If you notice, John, I can't hide it. It's written all over my face. Even the way I kiss the prince seems to give it away. It's guilt, John, guilt, though I have personally done no wrong. It's that my fortunes have soared so high, John, as high as Nijinsky, one critic will say. While those other girls, you recall them, John, the ones who sneered as I practiced ballet, are wallowing in poverty and pain. The thought of them, of their suffering, makes me yearn to set things right. Oh, yes, I live in a mansion, John. After all, I'm a movie star. I'd have nowhere else to live if I didn't live there. Acres of blooming orchids, John. Vivid flamingos arrayed in the yard. See the splendid staircase reaching to the stars? But my thoughts, John. See my eyes as I sip the bitter champagne? As my maid arranges the orchids by the pool? Go back, you see, far back, to my childhood, war-torn days. Bombs rained down on me in my mansion, John, on the mansion lawn of my mind. You can write about the explosions that I still hear. The maid removes my slippers, John. My toes resume their splay. I can never forget the girl that I used to be. Okay, that is scene 2 of the little old lady's story. Excuse me, I'll just clear my throat here. And she goes on with scene 3, telling John of the story she'd rather act in than the one she does act in, has acted in for hundreds, maybe thousands of years. The old lady who lives in a shoe continues her story. It's a story that she would like me to place her in. I won't be happy living in a mansion, John, any more than I was in the shoe. I'll keep searching for my rightful place in the world. Oh, I'm not interested in personal glory. When you write this, you can skip the many awards and accolades. I'd confine all that to merely a chapter or two, just to indicate in retrospect the enormous sacrifice that later, after much brooding beside my swimming pool, I give my head a shake and decide to make. Oh, here I am in my later years, John. What I want you to have me be? I have many children now. See them pressing forward to greet me so lovingly as I descend with appropriate music from on high, towards the runway, towards the ground. No more living in a shoe, John. I have my own private plane. The fuselage gleams on the tarmac, strewn with petals from many lands. Bouquets of splendid orchids fill my arms. Oh, they're not my personal children, no. They are the waifs from war-torn lands. I bring them food and comfort, John. I see their plight as my own. A Mother Teresa figure for sure, John, and how I am blessed with the common touch. We both of us are so gifted at molding young lives. The children greet me on the runway. I pose for pictures with groups of them, John. I have a cameraman follow me constantly. Yes, the world must know my pain. I'm still in my mind and heart, John, that skinny, war-torn waif, rejected and scorned at ballet school. The Swan Lake chorus was needlessly cruel, John. They hid the special socks I had made. Swans down feathers concealing adders, or reptiles of some other odious kind. Oh, those memories burn like sulfur, John. Torture chambers they are in my mind. I hear the bombs rain down incessantly, John. I am still that humble child. I am atoning for others' crimes, John, leaving my mansion for weeks at a time. I want those children, John, to see themselves in me. I show them my splayed toes, John, my splayed Nijinsky toes. The ugly duckling I left so high, she became a swan. I'm leaping higher than ever before, John. Have me leaping, John, when you write this. Show a little girl who is suffering. Take the reader inside her thoughts. Have me leaping, John, inside that little girl's heart. And that's the story as told to John by the little old lady who lived in a shoe. The first book which I wrote about the characters, whom I call the mythicals, was John and Santa, the cowboy shirt. It's established in that story that mythicals cannot create myths. Santa tells John that he is a mythical creature, not a human. He says that before humans created the story of the sleigh and the 8 tiny reindeer and the story of Rudolph, the reindeer with the red nose who leads the sleigh, he had no corporeal being. Santa had no physical self. Santa explains that he is a force which has been present in the world since time began, but which is embodied in physical terms, in artistic terms, by human writers. It follows then that in various cultures, the force that Santa represents might well be embodied in a variety of different physical forms. So, here we have the little old lady who lives in a shoe asking John, a human writer, to set aside the story that humans have created for her to live in and to act in, and to create a new story for her to live and act in. I suppose what we can ask ourselves when we hear the story that the little old lady who lives in a shoe prefers is whether the little old lady understands the force that she represents in the life of human beings. In addition, one can only hope that John is aware of this question as he ponders whether or not to grant the little old lady's wish and to write a story in which in future the little old lady can perform. So should John write this story for her and let her leave the story of the little old lady who lived in a shoe? Well, This is my novella, John and Mother Goose, The Carnival of Tales. It's found on Amazon, where you can have a look there for more information. My publisher's website is roxmillspress.com, and you can find more information there. My website is johnpassfield.ca, where there's 2 free books. You just click on the cover icon, and there they are to read. One is the planning notebook, which I wrote while I planned and wrote this novella. The other is the journal, in which I reflect on all of these issues, such as the one I just mentioned. So have a look if you're interested in that kind of literary chat, but it's also chat about the way we humans live our lives. So have a look at johnpassfield.ca if you're interested. Lastly, I'll just say thank you for watching this video.